So previously I have discussed about the development of male reproductive system. So we'll start with the development of female reproductive system. So if you take the cross section of the developing embryo during the 8th week, okay, at the lumbar region, this is how the structure is going to appear. So this will be the cross section. You can see structures from dorsal to ventral. This will be the dorsal aspect and this will be the ventral aspect. Okay, you can see neural tube, then followed by notochord, then we have dorsal mesentery, and the dorsal mesentery will be attached or held in your hindgut. Okay, on either side we can see the coelomic cavity. I'll repeat once again, from dorsal to ventral we have neural tube, notochord, this will be the dorsal mesentery, then followed by hindgut, okay, and this is the coelomic cavity. Remember, the coelomic cavity is lined by coelomic epithelium. Okay, these are the structures we can see during the 8th week at the lumbar region. Okay, this portion what you are seeing on either side of the dorsal mesentery, this part is called as mesonephric region. This is called as mesonephric region. And the mesonephric region is present on either side of the dorsal mesentery, and this mesonephric region includes 3 important structures. From medial to lateral, it has the ridge like this. Okay, this ridge is called as gonadal ridge. This is called as gonadal ridge. Okay, apart from the ridge we can see 2 ductus systems or structures. Those are mesonephric duct and another one is paramesonephric duct. Paramesonephric duct. Okay, first we can see the mesonephric duct. Okay, next to that we have paramesonephric duct. These are the 3 important structures you can see in the mesonephric region. Okay, and remember, closer to your hindgut there will be one more important cells called endodermal cells. Okay, these are called as primordial germ cells. These are called as primordial germ cells. Okay, and the primordial germ cells are derived from first batch. Primordial germ cells are derived from which structure? From epiblast. Any other answers? Okay. Remember, the primordial germ cells are derived from the epiblast layer. Okay. So now this primordial germ cell, which is present closer to the hindgut, will start moving in the dorsal mesentery like this, and it will enter into the mesonephric region. Once it enters the mesonephric region, it will first come in contact with the ridge. Is it clear? Any doubts in this? On either side of the dorsal mesentery, we have a mesonephric region. In the mesonephric region, we can see 3 important structures. The first one is gonadal ridge, second one is mesonephric duct, and the third one is paramesonephric duct. Okay, and the primordial germ cells present closer to your hindgut will travel through the dorsal mesentery and reaches the gonadal ridge. And this is how the structure of gonadal ridge will appear. This is the gonadal ridge. Okay, the gonadal ridge has 2 important structures or layers. What are those? What are those structures? Outer cortex and inner medulla. Okay. Okay, this is the gonadal ridge and this will be the inner medulla and this is going to be the outer cortex. And whatever the primordial germ cell which comes from the hindgut part, if it enters into the inner medulla and stops here only, it will going to develop as your spermatozoa. Okay, if the primordial germ cell which enters the ridge, it will travel towards the outer cortex, it will develop into oogonium. Is it clear? Okay. The gonadal ridge have very important cell structure which are present like this. What are these cell structures are called? These are called as sex cord cells. Okay, so now the primordial germ cell will enter into the gonadal ridge. In this case, during the development of female embryo, only one primordial germ cell like this. Okay, only one or a single primordial germ cell will start covering from the sex cord cells like this. And later this single cell is going to develop as a primary follicle. This will develop as a primary follicle. And from the primary follicle, we can see the development of secondary follicle, tertiary follicle, followed by ovum. Okay, so this is how the development of ovary takes place. Is it clear? Any doubts in this? In case of the development of male reproductive system, mostly the sex cord cells and primordial germ cell will get embedded with each other. But in the development of female reproductive system, around the 8th week, we can see only one primordial germ cell will covered by the or surrounded by the remaining sex cord cells, and later that one primordial germ cell will develop into primary follicle, and the primary follicle will undergo different phases like secondary follicle, tertiary follicle, Graafian follicle, then the release of ovum. And this is how the development of ovary takes place. Any doubts in this? No doubts? Okay. What happens to the mesonephric and paramesonephric duct in the male reproductive system? Okay, and others? What happens to the paramesonephric and mesonephric duct? Okay, in case of male reproductive system, mostly the paramesonephric duct will degenerate and only the mesonephric duct will give rise to different structures. Okay, but in case of female reproductive system, the mesonephric duct will degenerate. Okay, whereas the paramesonephric duct will give rise to uterus and your fallopian tubes. Okay, note down the point. In the development of female reproductive system, the mesonephric duct will degenerate and the paramesonephric duct will develop into uterus and fallopian tube. Finish? Okay. So now imagine this is the coelomic cavity. Okay. During the 6th week of development, we can see the development of the paramesonephric duct present closer to your coelomic cavity like this. By the end of the 8th week, this paramesonephric duct will start moving towards the medial side like this. Previously, when the development takes place around the 6th week, they are present as the lateral structures. By the end of the 8th week, they will come towards the medial side. Okay. And this is called as cranial end, and this is called as intermediate section, and this part is called as caudal end of the paramesonephric duct. Okay, we have 3 parts in the paramesonephric duct: cranial end, intermediate part or portion, then followed by caudal end. Okay, so where this caudal end will open? Where these caudal ends are going to open? The caudal end will come and get attached or comes in contact with the posterior surface of the urorectal sinus. When they are coming in contact with the posterior surface, it will form a small tubercle-like structure here, and this tubercle is called as Mullerian tubercle. It is called as Mullerian tubercle. Is it clear? Any doubts in this? Okay. So by the end of the 3rd week, this caudal end, what you are seeing, has a 2 different structure, will fuses with each other like this. Okay. By the end of the 3rd month, okay, not 3rd week, sorry, by the end of the 3rd month, the 2 caudal end will fuses with each other and form a single canal-like structure, which is called as uterovaginal canal. It is called as uterovaginal canal. And this entire uterovaginal canal has total 2 parts. Okay, now think I have written only this part. Okay, this entire uterovaginal canal has 2 parts. It is called as cranial part and caudal part. This is called as caudal part. Okay, the cranial part will give rise to vagina and cervix. This part will give rise to vagina and cervix. Okay, and the lower part or the caudal part will be in contact with the urorectal sinus. Okay, and remember, urorectal sinus is endodermal in origin. It is endodermal in origin. So the endodermal cells from the urorectal sinus will start moving in the upward direction like this. And forms a solid mass in the caudal part of the uterovaginal canal. This is the solid mass. And this part, it is called as vaginal bulb. This is called as vaginal bulb. Later, the structure vaginal bulb will undergo canalization process. It will undergo canalization and give rise to vaginal canal. Vaginal canal. Is it clear? Any doubts? Any doubts in this? Okay, I'll explain once again. We have uterovaginal canal, and the uterovaginal canal has two parts, cranial part and caudal part. The cranial part will develop into adult structures that are vagina and cervix, whereas the caudal part will be in contact with the uterorectal sinus. And the urorectal sinus is endodermal in origin, so it will pass few endodermal cells into the caudal part and it will convert into a solid mass-like structure which is called as vaginal bulb. Later, the vaginal bulb will undergo canalization to form a vaginal canal. Is it clear now? Any doubts? Okay, we'll come back to this structure again. So here, this part will develop into vagina, then followed by vaginal canal. Okay, and this part what you are seeing will later give rise to a uterus. Okay, and this cranial, basically the intermediate portion will give rise to uterus. Okay, and the cranial parts what you are seeing here will lose contact from the coelomic epithelium and it will form a fimbriated structures like this. Okay, and this will later convert into fallopian tube. Okay, so remember, the paramesonephric duct has three parts: cranial part, intermediate part and caudal part. The cranial part that is present in the lateral aspect will get converted or develop into fallopian tubes. Okay, and the intermediate portion will get connected with one another and it will form uterus, whereas the caudal part will form the vagina, cervix and vaginal canal. These are the points you should remember. And this is how the development of ovary, uterus and fallopian tube takes place in the female reproductive system. Any doubts? Any doubts in this? No doubts? Okay, open your textbook and see the diagrams once. Any doubts in the diagram? No doubts?